Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody is not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a new fight back from Next Bridge Hydrocarbons with a huge new lawsuit against TradeStation, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be looking at a significant bounce in Tesla with news that was also shared in the previous video with regard to catalyst coming from China, and we're going to finishing off by having a look at a review of the quick weekly watch list. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So we can see here from CNBC, the S&P 500 is a little change on Monday as investors are bracing themselves for a huge earnings week, as well as a very important Fed meeting, and that could certainly determine how the markets react. So fingers crossed there is positive news. So in the previous video, go ahead and check that out. Tesla was featured, and we did talk about the catalyst in China, and I also shared some important posts with regard to Elon and his visit to China, and this was also shared exclusively in the Discord in terms of the breaking news. And let's have a look at what's happened. First of all, Tesla and Elon Musk in China. Why is that a big deal? So let's have a look at 5 factors. So first of all, we know that China is the world's largest car market. You're looking at 20 million vehicles per year. And obviously 13 million vehicles are sold a year in the United States. So obviously China is significantly ahead. EV sales in China account for approximately 60% of the global market share. So huge opportunities there for Tesla there. Tech adoption in China is much greater than in other countries. And 60% of Chinese consumers are willing to use self-driving vehicles compared to the 30% across the world. Chinese cities face also significant traffic congestion and pollution, so therefore EV vehicles are certainly going to have more of an attractive option over there. And finally, we're looking at China's urban population. That's expected to grow to 1.1 billion by 2040, so obviously significant growing demand for the future as well. So let's have a look at a post here from Alex, who stated, "Imagine for a moment that Ross Gerber or Gary Black convinced you to dump your Tesla stock 5 days ago." So basically, just a few days ago, it was trading below $150. It went very close to $200 today. So that just in itself represents a 33% gain. So anybody who sold Tesla, good luck in your next investment. And finally, shout out here to Stock Market News, who posted about the Tesla short sellers. They've currently lost approximately $5.5 billion over 4 days. So that's according to Reuters. So bad news for the shorts. Let's now focus on the news with regard to the huge lawsuit from Next Bridge Hydrocarbons. And what I posted earlier is that the company have filed a lawsuit against TradeStation, and they are looking to seek an investigation into the potential imbalance of publicly available shares of MMTLP. So we can see here from Greg McCabe's point of view, first of all, he's not only engaging with Congress, FINRA and the SEC, as well as the hedge funds, but is now actively seeking a legal judgment in the Dallas 191st District Court. So the MMTLP community certainly appreciates the fighting spirit of not giving up, and I think every member of the community is in favor of that. The fight does continue not only on the legal front, but also with Congress, the SEC, FINRA, brokers, short sellers, and also the market makers until we get a resolution. So let's get into the case, and we can see here that this is filed here. We can see it's in the Dallas Court of Texas, District Court of Dallas in Texas, and we can see here the petitioner Next Bridge Hydrocarbons files the verified Rule 202 petition seeking to investigate potential claims or suits and respectfully states as below. So first of all, its principal business is in Texas. However, TradeStation is based in also in Texas as well. So if we go further down in terms of the key sections, so section 4 here, Next Bridge is filing this petition to seek an investigation into potential claims relating it to an imbalance in the publicly available shares of Next Bridge. And I think one of the reasons why they are doing this is because the MMTLP community in their campaign managed to prove this share imbalance with the TradeStation, and this was obviously covered in the video quite a while ago. So this is verified information, and TradeStation certainly has been exposed. So number 5, we can see that the company is an indirect successor to Meta Materials, which obviously we know is trading under MMAT. We know about the history there, and it also states that going back to the beginning, June 24, 2021, Meta Materials issued that previous preferred dividend, and the company now, Next Bridge Hydrocarbons themselves, are confirming that this was not intended to be tradable in the public market. So that was not the intention. That's what's happened. But it states here the intention was that each dividend would be a placeholder for an eventual sale of the oil and gas assets. So good news here in terms of confirmation from Next Bridge Hydrocarbons themselves that they will be looking to sell the oil and gas assets, but obviously to the right buyer with the right price. Alternatively, the other objective was to spin out into a separate company, which we currently have. That did occur, and the shares were to be exchanged, but obviously we know all the issues going on. And section 8 I'm going to share with you here, obviously now we can see reference to FINRA. So FINRA, as stated by the company here, by Next Bridge, is basically saying, well, their charge is to protect the public markets, but what they did is they halted MMTLP, now obviously it's Next Bridge Hydrocarbon stock, a private company, and in effect the status of the short positions that existed on that day of the halt is now giving rise to this petition. So specifically, TradeStation had customers with long positions in MMTLP. So many of you watching this will probably be one of these TradeStation customers. And section 9, what they're also saying in this lawsuit is the net result of those lending transactions and subsequent sales by the borrowing brokers customers is that there are more MMTLP shares in the brokerage accounts than there are shares outstanding, hence an imbalance. So that is because TradeStation customers who held long positions are the beneficial owners of Next Bridge Hydrocarbons. People who bought those shares for the borrowing brokers customers, while the brokerage account for every longer investor shows both a share and a dividend, so does not account for every long purchase of a short share, which effectively doubles the share count for every short position. So again, we could certainly suggest synthetic shares here as well. So number 10, it goes on to say significant uncovered short positions exist. So if we go by what FINRA states, they are saying FINRA themselves are acknowledging 2.65 million short shares. So that's what they are publicly accepting. However, Next Bridge believes the actual number may be far greater, and I believe that, and every person out there with a little bit of sense also believes that. And number 11, Next Bridge is not accusing, first of all, what point of clarification and importance here, of TradeStation of any wrongdoing, because obviously we have issues with regard to the U3 halt, and that was not TradeStation. However, the issue is also with synthetic shares held in the accounts owned by the borrowing brokers, customers, and given rise to multiple potential claims, and they are creating regulatory uncertainty right now. So remember, FINRA said they're doing the U3 halt to avoid uncertainty, but we've probably got the biggest ever uncertainty ever seen, certainly in my experience, and they're looking here at potential claims for legitimate Next Bridge Hydrocarbon shareholders whose positions have been diluted. And again, we can see the term used here by synthetic shares. So let's continue with section 11, and it also goes on to say that normally the double counting of shares would sort itself out over time, and I think without the U3 halt this would have been expected to happen, and certainly the brokers would have had to enforce that because obviously short positions were not covered, and there was no opportunity for them to be covered. So the December the 8th halt on the trading of Next Bridge Hydrocarbons prevented this from happening, and I think everybody out there knows this. So it goes on to say in section 12, Next Bridge Hydrocarbons shareholders who are customers of TradeStation do not have access to their shares that they bought and paid for, so obviously because of the imbalance. So number 13, the company are now filing this petition to seek information. So again, this is not about money, this is about information, and it's allowing it to investigate the claims by and potentially against Next Bridge hydrocarbons as articulated above. So I think they have a very, very strong case here. And if we go on to section 14, they state that they are seeking to investigate potential claims relating to the share imbalance, obviously, as well as that the synthetic shares. And number 15, they're looking at the interest in the share imbalance arising from the necessity to make full and complete disclosures to the Next Bridge hydrocarbons shareholders. And this is something that we are asking Congress for. This is what we have been campaigning for, is complete disclosure. So the people who have this information are the broker dealers, currently FINRA, and most likely the SEC as well. And they're looking at here to investigate and defend potential securities claims. So when there is suspicion of a crime, suspicion of a breach of securities legislation, there has to be an investigation, but we're not seeing that. So section 16, we're looking at rule 202, and now we are stating here the benefit for the company in obtaining this crucial information about the outstanding shares outweighs any minimal burden or expense to TradeStation of a short position. So in other words, basically the implication here is TradeStation should not have any objection to them because the benefits far outweigh any cost, and it's up to the shorts or the hedge funds to cover their short positions, and certainly not TradeStation so long as they are not involved. So TradeStation has a unique, if not exclusive knowledge of the facts and circumstances surrounding this, so they should have no objection for any disclosure. And it goes on to say that the Next Bridge is willing to agree to reasonable limits on the time allotted for this. So obviously if TradeStation need more time, we are willing to give them that, so long as we get the information. So section 17, they're requesting the court issue an order setting forth what the likely benefit of allowing a short deposition and outweighing any burden or expense of it, and authorizing the company, which is Next Bridge, to take a deposition at a time and place to be determined by the court at the conclusion of the hearing. So they're looking for, obviously, the court to enter an order allowing it to take a deposition of the corporate representative of TradeStation on matters described in the exhibits. So obviously we can see that documents are attached. If we have a look at the documents here, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're looking at shares lent, the brokers to shares described in topic 1, all the way down to business practices from TradeStation. But in terms of the attorney representing Next Bridge, this is Jason M. Hopkins, based in Dallas, Texas, and he is the attorney for Next Bridge. And the other Exhibit B document request, including obviously items such as MMTLP shares lent out on the 8th. Obviously we're looking at identifying the brokers who lent out the shares, all the way down to identify if any borrower of MMTLP shares made any cash deposit. So again, all of this information should certainly not be prevented from being shared publicly. So I think this is an excellent move by Greg McCabe, and now it's over to the judge, it's over to the court, and it's over to TradeStation. I'd finally like to finish off by having a quick review of the previous week's weekly watch list. This is shared exclusively with the Discord members prior to trading on the Monday. And last week we made a number of significant calls which were mostly successful. So these included DJT, which has been covered in a number of videos. So go ahead and check them out. And they are also approaching Congress for obviously an investigation similar to MMTLP. And they have also referenced the MMTLP Congress letter. So that was up 18.4% on the previous week. AGBA, another call in the Discord, that was up 37.2% on the week, and that was a best call. TPET up 5.8%, Hummer was up 2.6%, LOVE was up 4.5%, SNDA, that was up 11.8%, SUN, that was up 2.1% on the week, RELL, that was up, that closed level on the week after Monday's dip, TTOO, up 20% on Monday, good opportunity there to take profits. After that, there was a sell-off and it closed down 5.6% on the week. So if you would like to get the next weekly watch list, as well as our daily stock alerts, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.